Hey, so before I get it started into today's video, I already rolled up the blunt here, and what I've done is that I kind of scooped some of this out. This right here, this honeycomb wax. You can see it here. Let me show you. Can you see that? Is that? Can you see that? Anyway, so I scooped some out. I sprinkled it in the blunt, put the weed on top, and rolled it up. And this is my first time doing this, so if I'm doing it wrong or you guys, know of a better way, please comment below. But yeah, I want to talk to you guys about 5 things that I've done because, I had no money for weed or I was trying to get weed. And so, uh, wow. So the first thing I want to talk about is the first thing that I've done was donate plasma. So for you guys who don't know what donating plasma is, let me just kind of run it down. Now, I'm not a scientist or I'm not a financial advisor, but let me just kind of explain real quick. So for you guys who don't know what donating plasma is, it's just think of terms of donating blood. So it's kind of similar to that, and it's similar to that where they take the blood out and there's something in your blood that they want, so they send it through this machine, and this machine separates it, right? They separates this liquid from the blood and they put the blood back into your body. So what makes this what makes this kind of bad is that, one is that if you go to a plasma place, you're going to be down there for anywhere from like 5 to 8 hours, right? 5 to 8 hours. And on top of that, they they have this huge needle. I'm not be exaggerating a little bit, but they have this big needle that they're gonna stick in your arm, and that's kind of. And I don't like needles, even though I have tattoos. I don't really like needles, right? Um, so they're gonna stick this needle in your arm. So they stick it in your arm, you know, and then again, this machine, it separates the blood, and then they're gonna send the blood back into your body. Well, sometimes they don't put the needle in good enough, right? They'll put it in too deep, or not put it in far enough, I guess. I don't know, but your body rejects the blood, right? And this machine's trying to pump this blood back into your body. It doesn't want it, and your arm starts to swell up. And then all of a sudden, you're like, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then they like, oh, well, you didn't get it good enough. We're going to have to stick your other arm. And the same thing happens. Your arm, your arm swell. Now you got 2 arms swell up. And then the bad thing is they tell you, hey, we can't pay you because, you ain't giving up no plasma. And it's like, okay, so you kind of go through that of, of talking to them about not giving you your money. And then on top of that, what they was paying. Ooh, the coffee. I don't know if you guys drink coffee, but coffee and weed, oh my goodness. Anyway, so, and they pay like anywhere from $30 to $50. You can go twice a week. And so, $30, it's $30 usually, but 50, sorry, $50 your first 5 times, and then it's $30 after that. So, $60 a week. And I would do that to go get weed, and so that was this first thing. Second thing, and this kind of goes borrowing money. So if you ever borrowed money before, and what I mean by borrow money is just like if you asking to go credit to front you a sack of weed. If this is for going to like a payday loan, if you're going to friends and family to get money to get weed, I would do that a lot. And, I feel bad, looking back on it, I do feel really bad that I did that. Also with the payday loans, I would, get the payday loans and with no intentions of paying them back. I was amazed, and that wasn't good on my part because, payday loans, they charge huge interest, and then they put it on your credit, and then it drives down your credit, so that was the number 2 thing. So the number three thing was missing work or getting fired from a job because, you know, somebody said, hey, I get off at certain time and I'm gonna come through and smoke with you, and, you know, or, you know, you call your dealer, you know, just before we became legal, so you call your, you know, you call the weed man or whatever, and he says, I'll be there in 30 minutes, and, you know, you got maybe 2 hours before you gotta go to work, and then it takes him 3 hours to finally come up, and you're like, well, I'm calling in, and your job like, well, you didn't call in, so you're fired. Don't even worry about coming in, you're fired. So, you know, that's not good at all, you know, and that's not good at all. So, the number, what was that? Number 4? So, okay, so the number 4 thing that I want to kind of talk to you guys about is pawning things. You know, I don't know if you ever pawned something, but let me kind of explain what pawning is. So, at one point I bought a PlayStation 4 when PlayStation 4 first came out, and you know it could be anything, but I'm just thinking of PlayStation 4 at the top of my head, and you know, I bought a PlayStation 4 brand new when it first came out, which was, I think PlayStation 4 was like $3.99 or something, right? And you know, you can't just get the console. You got to get the controller. You got to get the games. You know, it comes with a controller, but you got to get another controller, right? And you know, the games, Madden, 2K, you know, Call of Duty, um, the headset, you know, all kind of knick-knack things that comes with the PlayStation, right? So it ends up, you know, instead of paying $400, it ends up costing what, $600 to $700, right, for this PlayStation. And so maybe 6 months go by, and or a year goes by, and you know, you spend $700 for this unit, and you take it to the you know, I take it to the pawn shop, and so the pawn shop, what does the pawn shop want to give me? Pawn shop only wants to give me 60, I mean anywhere, I'm sorry, 80 to $100 for something I paid $700 for, right? And so, you know, out of me craving for marijuana, I sorry, I, you know, took the money. So now, you know, and the way the pawn system works is you pawn them an item, they give you the money, and they'll hold the item for 60 to 90 days, you know. It just depended. It was 60 days to the place I was going. And so, you know, they charge you interest for each, you know, that's 2 months practically. So they're going to charge you interest for every 30 days, right? So you got 60 days. So, you know, let's say they give me $100 for something for the PlayStation, and, you know, I, they give me the $100 for the PlayStation, and I don't go back and get the item. So when the 60 days roll around, I don't have $150 because they charge you $25 for every 100 that they loan you, right? Usually how the pawn shop works. So they charge you $100, and I mean, charge you $25, and so it's $150 to get the PlayStation out. And I'm like, wow, I don't have the money because it's marijuana, right? And so yeah, so anyway, so you know, you can't get it, so you lose it, and then you go to the pawn shop to try to get your item back, and they have it on the showroom for like, yo, we'll give it back to you, but you know, you gotta pay $350 or $450 or $550. I don't know, but it's more than what they gave to you. So that, you know, is not good. Number 6, or number 5, sorry. Number 5 is spending your rent money. And, you know, so when it was times where, you know, I would try to do, so say if I if I borrowed some money from somebody and I have to pay them back. And so when it's all said and done, when you get your check, right? You know, I used to live from 2 weeks to 2 weeks, paycheck to paycheck practically. And when I got my paycheck, you know, maybe I called in so that wasn't reflected on my check. And so when I got my paycheck, it would be like I only have enough to pay the rent, or I have debt, and then there's all kind of things that comes up, right? You need gas to get to work. Maybe you need food. You need some. You ain't got no more weed, so you gotta go get some weed, and then you slowly chipping off of your rent money, and you slowly chip it off of your rent money, and it's like, wow, on a time you're like, fuck it. You just like, fuck it, I'll just go buy me a sack, and then I'll go buy me another one. And it's just like, you don't have no rent money. So you're trying to play catch up, which is really, really hard. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that playing catch up, because if you miss a bill, you go behind, depending on how much that bill is, it kind of sets you back 2 months, because one, you got to make up for the month that you missed, and on top of that, you got to stay current with the month that you now fall in. So I just want to kind of put a disclaimer on here right now. These are the 5 things that I've done, right? And if you've done these things, I'm not saying that makes you a bad person. Anything that I've listed here, donating plasma, borrow money, pawning items, missing work or getting fired, or spending your rent money to buy this stuff. If you've done this, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. If you've done all 5 of these things, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. What I am saying is that this is what I did. And because, I didn't have any money. And so if you're watching this video, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, this is the thing to do, this is what to do. The purpose of this video is that if you're down right now, if you're down and you feel like it's just endless, or whatever situation that you may be going through, that at the end of the day, it gets better. If you can just work through it, it gets better. When I went to go donate plasma, it was at a low point in my life. I was homeless. I used to be homeless, and several times. I wasn't just homeless once and things kind of picked up. I became homeless several times, and I was at a low point in my life, where I would go rummage through the trash cans because I didn't have anything to eat, and and maybe marijuana was a big factor of why I was in those situations, kind of the reasons why I went through those things. But I list these 5 things not to, to say, hey, I'm a bad person, but just to let you know that, when I was donating plasma and laying there and getting stuck with a needle, you feel kind of dirty, right? I mean, not feeling dirty, you feel kind of, you don't want to be there, it kind of feel like a low point. When you're going to pawn things, when you spend $700 and then you turn around to the pawn shop and the pawn shop only wants to pay you $100 or $80, it's like a slap in the face, And so I say that because no matter what you're going through in life right now, where you are in life, if you feel bad about your situation, it'll get better. It will get better because, again, I was homeless, and, I'm not sitting here to try to make a person's sob story, but, it gets better. And if you are dealing with, like, addiction, if you're dealing with some type of mental issue, or you're just mentally, because, when I was doing these things, I became severely depressed, I became very, very depressed, and it was just hard to try to cope and kind of it was just kind of hard to cope and just kind of see the purpose in life, I was alone, maybe that was a big thing too. I didn't have a support system, I didn't have friends or family that I could support on, I wasn't religious, and the only thing I had was this, and so I understand when a person who they find comfort in the bottle, or they find comfort in whatever, I understand that, because, again, if you're going through something right now, and I don't want to turn this into a sad, depressing video, but, again, if you're going through something right now, it will get better. It will get definitely better. And, I'm just going to leave it on that. Still, but, I hope that happiness, peace finds their way to you. And just remember, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I didn't mean for this to turn into this kind of type of video, but again, these are my 5 things that I wanted to list, what I've done here. And so I'm just going to end it on that. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope that, happiness finds your way. And yeah, so take care until the next video.